Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome along to the SRUC Oatridge Engineering and Forge Work Online Open Day. My name's Robert McKechnie. I'm a lecturer in land-based engineering at Oatridge campus, and I'll be talking you through today's open day. My email address is on the screen currently. We'll come back to that as we end the session today. But if you do have any questions that we don't cover today, or you feel as if you would like some further details, you please do not hesitate to get in touch with the email address on the screen. So we'll just start and get our way through it. And what do we do? Okay, so what do we do in the engineering and Forge Work team? We provide full-time and work-based learning, that's WBL qualifications in land-based engineering and Forge Work. Where do we do it? Our full-time qualifications take place at Oatridge campus, and that's in a little village called Ecclesmachan, which is just outside Broxburn. And our WBL, or work-based learning, is split across both the Oatridge and Barony campus, which is another SRUC campus, just a short distance outside of Dumfries. How do we do it? Well, we have a mix of practical and theoretical learning takes place, with the aim of all sessions being as active as possible. Remember, theory doesn't always need to mean classroom. Okay, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that our candidates who are coming on are exposed to a wide variety of different learning techniques. We obviously have practical sessions which take place in our workshops, in our welding workshop, in our forge, but equally we have sessions which will take place in classrooms, computer rooms. Obviously, on site at both Oatridge campus and Barony, we have got college farms, and we obviously try and utilise those to the best of the ability and make sure that candidates get exposed to everything that they have available on the farm. Who delivers it? So who actually takes the session? So we've got a variety of instructors and lecturers at SRUC with a wealth of industry experience. Their aim is, of course, to deliver engaging sessions to ensure you get the most from your time with us. Members of staff that we have working in the engineering and Forge Work team have had industry experience with JCB, Massey Ferguson, John Deere, Valtra, Claas, New Holland, Toro, Siemens, the car industry. All of this industry experience combined with teaching qualifications means that the staff that you'll be exposed to can deliver high quality education with regards to land-based engineering. My own story, for example, I left school at the age of 16 and undertook a modern apprenticeship in land-based engineering. This was actually at Barony campus and in conjunction with the local Massey Ferguson dealer. Since then, I've worked in industry for a period of time. I've also travelled to Australia and worked in industry. And upon arrival home and being self-employed in industry, I got involved in delivering educational sessions. So the programmes which we offer today are programmes that myself and a lot of my colleagues have also undertaken. So what qualifications are actually available? So for full-time engineering, we've got our national certificate in land-based engineering, and that's at SCQF level 6. Pathways available in this are agriculture engineering and ground care engineering. So we've got 2 pathways there. In terms of our Forge Work delivery, we have got a City and Guilds level 2 diploma in Forge Work. And for work-based learning, which is only for engineering, we've got our modern apprenticeship in engineering, which comes in at SCQF level 7. Okay, so those are the 3 different types of programs that we have got available for you. And what I'm going to now do is just go through and look at each of them in a little bit more detail, hopefully trying to highlight some of the key points with regards to how the courses actually take place. So to start with, we'll look at Forge Work. So our Forge Work programme, as we said previously, is a Sitting Guilds Level 2 Diploma in Forge Work, and this equates to SCQF Level 5. We can see there we've got some practical work taking place in our Forge room at Oatridge campus. So as we said there, the location is Oatridge. The study mode for this is full-time. Full-time on this programme equates to 3 days. It's a Monday, Tuesday and a Wednesday. The start date would be August 2025 and January 2026. The duration of the programme is 16 weeks. So we run 2 cohorts for this programme, one obviously beginning in August and one beginning in January. This 16-week full-time course is designed to prepare you for an apprenticeship in farriery or to follow a career in blacksmithing or decorative metalwork. So what we tend to find is that a lot of the candidates who are coming on this programme, that is the line of work that they are taking up. Some people come because they want to upskill, some people come because they want a complete career change. But farriery and blacksmith, decorative metalwork is the career pathways that most of the candidates who complete the programme go on to do. If we continue with the Level 2 Diploma in Forge Work, we'll cover a range of topics during the course, including basic maintenance, operation and control of forge hearths and gas furnaces, and safe working practices in forging, forming, cutting and joining. You'll also learn about using, maintaining and making blacksmith's tools and produce a portfolio of forging exercises. So one of the assessment pieces that you have to undertake is to actually produce a portfolio of work that you've been working on across the 16-week period. The next section that we'll look at here is the entry requirements. So to obtain entry to the Sitting Guilds Level 2 Diploma in Forge Work, your entry requirements are 3 National 4s to include English and Maths. One thing I would say about the Forge Work programme, folks, is that there is limited numbers available on this. We can only take on 8 candidates per cohort. So if it is something that you're interested in, I definitely recommend getting your application in as soon as possible. So that kind of rounds us up on the introduction to looking at the Forge Work programmes that we've got. Now what we'll do is we'll focus on land-based engineering. And with land-based engineering, first of all, we'll be looking at our National Certificate in Land-based Engineering. And we can see what's happening there is we've got a couple of candidates working at the bottom end of an engine. So, location for the National Certificate in Land-based Engineering is at Oatridge campus, as we've discussed previously, just outside Broxburn. The study mode for this is full-time, and by full-time, we will mean that candidates will be on campus for 3.5 days per week. The start date for the programme would be August 2025. And the duration for it is 1 year. And when we say 1 year, we mean 1 academic year. So that will be starting in August and completing in June. 32 weeks of delivery, also alongside 3 review weeks, where work which has been missed due to a variety of different circumstances can be caught up. But that's what encompasses 1 year of study. This course is for anyone with an interest in working as an agricultural engineer, and it offers a mix of theory and practical skills. If we continue with the NC land-based engineering, we can see we've got some diagnostic work taking place inside the tractor cab there. Example modules would include electrics and introduction, engine technology, mechanical transmission systems, hydraulic systems, cultivation and establishment machinery. Now that's just a very short list of the units which are included in the programme. You have got 16 units which have to be completed to achieve the overall qualification, but it gives you a small idea as to the kind of units that you can expect to see. You'll also gain the health, safety and environment knowledge you need and work on mathematics and communications. Okay, all very important skill sets for use in modern land-based engineering employers. On to the entry requirements for the National Certificate in Land-Based Engineering. You'll be looking to have 2 National 4s, which have to include English and Maths, and you'll also have to have 2 Nat 5s in any subject. Previously, we ran an Introduction to the Land-Based Engineering course, so having had successful completion of the Introduction to Land-Based Engineering course, you would also be accepted onto the NC. But that there is our standard entry requirements for the National Certificate. I'll now move on and we'll discuss the Modern Apprenticeship in Land-Based Engineering. And this is our flagship work-based learning programme. So, location is at both Oatridge and Barony. We have apprenticeship programmes which take place at both campuses. The study mode is block release, so unlike the previous programmes we've looked at where it's been full-time, you won't attend on a full-time basis. You will have blocks which are at college. The start date would be September 2025. And as this is a modern apprenticeship, there is a requirement for the duration to be 4 years. So that would be 4 academic years to complete your modern apprenticeship in land-based engineering. This course is for anyone with an interest in working as an agricultural engineer who has secured employment within industry. One thing I would just like to add there, we have used the terminology agricultural engineer, but of course with this we have pathways for ground care engineers and we also have pathways for forestry engineers. All 3 undertake the modern apprenticeship in land-based engineering with specialised units depending upon the industry you are employed in. So, continuing on with the modern apprenticeship in land-based engineering. In the modern apprenticeship, you'll follow an agricultural, forestry or ground care engineering pathway depending upon your and your employer's needs. So it's very important that this isn't just a one-size-fits-all programme. We make it suit the needs of the candidate and the business that you are working for. Modern apprenticeships, they provide employers support to develop a strong workforce by teaching new and existing employees valuable skills and knowledge directly relevant to their business. The next thing we'll have to move on and look at here, folks, is going to be your entry requirements. So your entry requirements for the modern apprenticeship in land-based engineering is the same as the NC programme. We have to have 2 National 4s to include English and Maths and 2 National 5s in any subject. The other thing that is absolutely critical to this is that you are employed in industry. This is a work-based programme. If you don't have employment, then unfortunately the modern apprenticeship is not for you. Now, a little bit of further discussion on the modern apprenticeship. Just in the last 12 months, the framework for the modern apprenticeship in land-based engineering has changed. What that now means is that the modern apprenticeship has got almost 3 tiers in it. There's an SCQF level 5 tier, an SCQF level 6, and an SCQF level 7. Now, the fact that the modern apprenticeship is working at SCQF level 7 now means that rather than just working at a further education level, you will be moving into the first level of the higher education framework. This is new for land-based engineering. We've never had a qualification in Scotland which works at that level, but it serves to reward candidates to the level of work they produce and also stretches them to work at a higher standard. Benefits of this means that candidates will be stronger for the workforce. They will also have more academic progression routes made available to them by having a qualification at SCQF level 7. So, to explain a little bit more about what's happening within the different tiers, at level 5, you will be gathering evidence from your workplace. It will be almost exclusively work-based content from there. Level 6, you will complete the National Certificate programme on a block release basis as your level 6 academic portion. And once we get to level 7, then it will almost be a 50-50 split between college-based learning and workplace learning, where you have to gather evidence from your workplace to demonstrate your ability to be working at the required level. So that's a little bit of an introduction onto the modern apprenticeship. With regards to modern apprenticeships at SRUC as well, what we also have is we have got very strong industry links, and you can see from the picture there with Case New Holland. So we've got, that's our own fleet of New Holland tractors there at Oatridge campus. We do deliver the CNH backed apprenticeship programme for Scotland. So what that means is that if your employment with a Case or a New Holland dealership, then you'll come to us. You will be in a group which is smaller in number than the regular modern apprenticeship group, and your apprenticeship will also be backed up with further manufacturer-led training out with of your normal college learning. Also at SRUC Barony campus, we deliver the AGCO apprenticeship programme. This means that if you work with a Massey Ferguson dealer, a Fendt dealer, or a Valtra dealer, then again, you'll be in that manufacturer-backed apprenticeship where you'll be working in a smaller group than the rest of the modern apprenticeships. And you will also have the ability to attend further training from the manufacturer. So I hope, everyone, that I've managed to give you quite a whistle-stop tour of the different programmes that we've got going on at SRUC with regards to engineering and forge work. I'd like to thank you for attending our online open day. If there are any questions, I'll be more than happy to take them just now. If there's not, then they can be directed to either myself or Fraser Wilson. So those two email addresses are there. If you've got any further details, please do not hesitate to get in touch, and we'll try and explain as much as we possibly can about what we do here.
Thanks so much, Robert. We've had loads of questions, actually.
Oh, good.
The first is, do you need any experience to start the Forge Work course? Is there theory and written work, or is it all practical assessments?
Okay. So with regards to experience, there's no requirement for any previous experience to get on the course. You're coming to college to undertake the qualification to gain that experience. So please, if you feel as if you've got a lack of experience, please do not be put off by applying for that. In terms of is there any written work? Unfortunately, there is. It's very, very small, however, and that is to get you ready for there is an online assessment at the end of the qualification. Throughout your 3 days that you're on campus, I should say, it's not even as if you spend half a day in the classroom. You spend hour sessions sporadically across the 16 weeks inside the classroom, and Juliet, our Forge Work lecturer, has done many of these programs. She guides you expertly through to the point of being ready to take that assessment without having sat in a classroom for hours upon hours. So it's a very, very light touch in terms of the classroom on the Forge Work program.
Excellent. There's a follow-up Forge Work question as well, which is, do you need to have your own gloves and tools for the Forge Work course?
Absolutely not. So when you come to any programme in SRUC, PPE will be provided for you, as will all the tooling. And actually, one of the things that you'll do as part of the Forge Work programme is you'll actually make some of your own tooling as well.
Thanks very much. There's a question about what you do after your course. What job could you do after doing the NC? Do most people carry on to do the MA after if they get a job?
Yeah, so good question. So if we look the national certificate, traditionally, before we've had the change in apprenticeship framework, then what would have happened was candidates would have done the national certificate programme and looked to gain employment. That's still very much the case. But because of the new framework, it actually makes it even more advantageous as such, because if you complete the NC on a full-time basis, when you then do, luckily or hopefully, gain employment, that means that you can go and do your modern apprenticeship, but you've actually, I tried to explain the 3-tier systems. You've got one of the tiers already in the bag because you've completed the national certificate. For me and a lot of the employers I'm dealing with on a regular basis here, that's very advantageous to them, because it can actually cut down the amount of time that you need to spend in college when you're there in employment. So please don't be disheartened if you're trying to apply for jobs at the minute and you can't get one. If you come and complete the NC, then this time next year when you go to apply for jobs, you'll actually find yourself in a much stronger position than other candidates who you're fighting against, essentially.
Mm-hmm. How many are typically in an engineering class?
Yeah, so good question. If we look at the national certificate group, our numbers are capped at 20, so we have 20 in the overall group, and we would have a maximum of 10 within a practical group. There wouldn't ever be any more than 10 in a practical group. If we've got a way that we can make numbers ever slightly so smaller than that, 6s or 8s, then we try to do that, because it makes things better for the learners. With regards to the modern apprenticeship, then that's not so easy to answer, because modern apprenticeships take place across 2 campuses. We could basically say there that we have we're running about a number of about 50 every year could be intake there, split across both the campuses.
Next one. If on an apprenticeship, is there college work to do when off block?
Yes, another good question. So, with regards to when you're not here at college, when you're not actually undertaking your learning on campus, is there any work to do? The answer to that will be yes, unsurprisingly. What we mean by work, though, when you're off block is gathering evidence. It's not a case of we're actually sending you with copious amounts of homework and asking you to work your way through that. What we're asking you to do is gather evidence against the set criteria for your qualification from your workplace. We're not asking you to do any work that you wouldn't already be doing. All we're asking you to do is to evidence it for us.
That's great. There's a question about learning support. What learning support is there at the college?
Yeah, so with regards to learning support, every candidate who identifies that either from school or off their own requirement, if they feel that the learning support is required, then we would refer you to our learning support team, who would make an assessment or look at previous plans which have been in place at other learning institutions, school or other colleges, and see what works best for you and your own needs. All of the team within the engineering and forge work department are a lot of us have got actually learning support needs ourselves as we've come up through education, so we understand the needs that people have got, and we absolutely try our best to ensure that those candidates won't be disadvantaged in any way. So yeah, learning support is something that is very much at the forefront of our minds here, and we look to make sure that it's utilised to the best of its ability.
Yeah, and we had an online event with the support team at the start of this week, actually, and you can find that on the virtual student experience, and I'll put the link in for anybody who needs to know a bit more about that. This might be the last question. If you have a place on the NC for starting this year, but you're lucky enough to get an apprenticeship between now and August, can you easily change to a modern apprenticeship?
Yep, so good question. I feel as if I'm well served to answer that, because that is exactly the scenario that happened to me when I was 16 years of age. I had the national certificate signed up to basically take place, and between leaving school and that summer I managed to get an apprenticeship, and the answer then is the same as it is today. Yes, absolutely. It is very easy to change over, providing that we're not at our max capacity, as we say, of those 50 spaces, which in all honesty it was an absolute bumper year if we were going to achieve that. It's no concern of being able to get you swapped over and get you from the full-time programme to the work-based learning programme. We can make that happen. fairly straightforward.
That's amazing. That's it for the questions, I think. I think that's us. Thank you so much, Robert. That's been brilliant.
Yep, no problem. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.